Yeah, it's been a while since I've made a presentation. Let me just very briefly update you with where I am at this point in my life with my writing and with my spiritual life. I have moved from writing books to maintaining the new website I have, which is stephenhoward.modwriter.com, which allows me to write blogs. And that's sort of all I really need to do at this point. Um, I don't have as much need to be writing books as I did. I've got enough of them now that I just need to have other people see them and read them. And these shorter books, which are not by Stephen Howard, but with Stephen Howard. And the reason for that is because they are spiritually guided. Even the images that I use come to me, and it's then the image that I begin to uh, sense what it is that I need to write about that image. Very much dependent upon spirit guiding me when I see the image. So to this point, if you'll just simply uh, focus on that, and what I'm going to do is read because it came to me, and I can't rework it uh, because the blog is what came to me as from spirit, and it was all based upon my seeing this picture. So let me just go ahead with my presentation. Uh, I've come to realize that we can all look at the same picture and see a very different image, which is the thought that came to me when I was browsing the internet for a picture that I could use that would speak to me for my next blog. When I initially looked at this image, the first thought that rushed to the surface for me was, oh my God, he's lost his balance and he's going to fall. I could just visualize him flailing his arms and legs and screaming all the way to his death, his body smashed and broken on the rocks far below. Not wanting to have this be the truth, I quickly considered another possibility. Maybe his fall was broken by tree branches. Worst case, he suffers some broken bones, but at least he survived to tell about it. And then I had another thought. Maybe he's skilled enough that he can still shift his weight forward and regain his balance. I took another deep centering breath and looked at the picture a little more closely. Aha! Now I was able to zoom in and become aware of the harness that was around his waist and the black strap that I could now see tethered to this larger line he was navigating. What a difference that realization caused. I now felt calm and peaceful. As I continued to stare at the picture, this thought came to me. How similar our thinking and imagining can be as we face our daily lives. How often do we find ourselves reacting to circumstances and jumping to a conclusion that leaves us in a state of mind governed by concern or fear or anger, which is very often a cover-up emotion, triggered to avoid the underlying reasons for our fear. Here's an example from my own life, one that quickly came to mind since it's one I'm currently grappling with. Because both our iMac desktop computer and the operating system my wife and I share is quite old, it is often a challenge to our patience as we watch the spinning ball for minutes at a time until it finally brings up the next screen image we were waiting for. Not infrequently, the screen then goes black and a notice appears telling us the system had to be shut down. Now it's back to square one and the system needs to be rebooted. Of course, my wife and I have very different opinions of why this kind of thing is happening. And in parentheses, and by the way, neither of us needs an invitation from the other to voice our certainty as to why it's happening. And when I hear her opinion, I can feel myself being triggered And now I've got two challenges to deal with: to remain reasonably centered and not take things personally, and quietly listen to her suggestions as to what I might consider doing to resolve the issue with the computer. If I'm to be completely honest about this, I have to say I very often find myself stuffing my feelings and doing my best to appear appreciative of her suggestions long enough for me to find a private moment to actually become open to her advice and follow it. Well, guess what? After I removed a lot of 10-year-old no longer needed data files from the hard drive, then shut down the computer for several minutes and restarted the system like she suggested, it has not given either of us any significant problems since. And when it does, I now know what steps to take to resolve the issue. Let me also mention that it isn't coincidental that I had just had an opportunity to take part in an online Zoom class given by Dr. Rima Benario, one of the co-founders of the Q Effect training program. And that happened earlier this week. Its class description was, "Come explore the skills, mindset, and heart wisdom needed to face risk and to blossom into your fullest self-expression." I think I got it. What I do hope is your takeaway from this blog is that you consider the stories that make up part of the fabric of your life that may be keeping you in the dark and preventing you from living a more fulfilling and joy-filled life. And I always say I would love to hear back from you. Love and light, Stephen.